I want to talk about something about the solstice.
Okay.
Good.
It is one of the 24 solar terms. In China, we have 24 solar terms a year. We have a song for it. I would like to read it to you if you like.
Please.
It's like a Chinese poem. It sounds like a Chinese poem, like 春雨惊春清谷天，夏满莽下暑相连，秋处露秋寒霜降，冬雪雪冬小大寒。This song includes 24 solar terms. The first one is the beginning of spring. And then the second one, rainwater. The third one is like insects awakening. The insects are awakening.
Oh, yeah. The insides are awakening.
I guess we have a summer solstice in summer. It's the first beginning of the summer. It's the third solar term of the summer.
The third solar turn is the summer.
Yes. It's the first term. Winter solstice is the first term of winter. Yes.
And is there anything in particular that you would celebrate on this? Is this winter solstice recognized in any kind of celebration?
I think it was celebrated very they have big gatherings in our history, but not today. We just have some food maybe.
Historically, yes.
I have a question. I'm afraid to ask. In focusing, we see everything can be carried forward. Everything is moving forward. But I'm wondering if we lost someone, how can that be carried forward? I understand there's something can be carried forward by us, and we are still living. But for them, I mean, they're still carrying forward, or it's just the end.
Are you asking me, Kate? Are you asking me?
Yes.
I think for me, the relationship is carried forward often in the death, that I appreciate and understand much more about my brother in his death. And I somehow believe that people's lives are carried forward after they die in mysterious ways. That's my own feeling.
Kate, were you specifically asking about how the person who has died might go forward?
Yes, I have that question.
Yes.
It's like for me, yes, life is moving forward, but I guess I have a death inside me. I will die someday. I'm dying bit by bit every day. I guess it's I don't know. Is that a carry forward, or it's just something disappearing?
It feels like
Well, I think there are a lot of religions and belief systems that try to address that. I think,
Yeah.
frankly, nobody really knows.
Yeah.
But you take the Hindu and Buddhist approaches that say, oh yeah, this you come back and you keep coming back till you get it right.
Yeah.
So there's a carrying forward there to the ultimate of, you just keep coming back until you get it all together.
I just
There
got to take
are,
issue. Oh, wait, I got to take issue with that. There's a whole lot more to it than that.
oh,
But
Yeah.
go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
right.
From a focusing perspective, I just want to say that there's such power in the question that you asked, Kate. Like, to me, I just feel such power in the question. And it just feels like any answer might even shut down the power of that question. Like, I just think it's really, really, really courageous thing to ask. And I would just want to invite us to kind of wonder about that together, like, is there something that carries forward for that person after they're no longer here? And to just give us all a moment to sense into that, right? Just in a focusing way, and not, it's okay if we have thoughts or ideas or whatever, but what happens if we just hold space for the question?
And let me clarify the question, Kate. You I believe you actually said me too. When I die,
Yeah.
you made reference to yourself, not just to others, but to yourself. And that is truly an ultimate question. So thank you, Rosa. And yes.
What will happen to me when I die? And what has happened for that other person now that they're gone? And I loved what Lynn said, that there's also a relationship. The relationship is carrying forward. I am carrying that person within me in a different way now that they're no longer physically here. And I really want to honor that. And I just want to honor all three questions, right? Like, what's happening to the relationship? What has happened to them? And what will happen to me when I die?
I love what you said, Rosa, about that being maybe the most profound and universal question that we need courage to be able to articulate, but is always there for us, I think.
Yeah, I just think it was so courageous of Kate, and I am so grateful. Thank you
Yes.
for
Yes,
giving
me-
voice to that, Kate.
Me too.
Thank
Kate,
you.
Kate, I would like to say something about what happens, what I feel might happen to me when I die. And specifically in the context of my son, who is my closest biological relationship, of course, and my only child. Every and I think maybe some of us might have lost a child. I haven't lost him in that specific sense, but if anyone has, I'd invite you to say something about that. For me, I see as I was lucky enough to have him in my town until he was 27. And so every birthday, every major holiday, I was with him. And that gave a structure to the shared time that we had. Now that he lives somewhere else, we don't have a structure for time we might share. And so I feel I feel it as if I'm dying in some way to him, to his family. It's a part of me that has this feeling that I'm dying. And at first, it was a lot of grief, and you can hear it in my voice. I just wanted to protest that and immediately get on the phone and say, when am I going to see you next? But I don't see that as the kind of mother one like me will be to a grown child. So here's what I get to. I believe, and I continue to hope, that the idea of me, that I will be a good idea to him for as long as he lives. And it gives me a lot of joy, really, to imagine that's the specificity of that our relationship with our mother goes on until we die. Many psychologists talk about that, that our mother's very cells are still in us and all of that. But that's the answer that comes to me, that I believe I will continue to live as a very good idea because of the way I've tried to live my life with him until now.
This, for me, my mother's memories, they come so frequently, and they amuse me, they entertain me, they sustain me, they make me feel good.
Mm.
So that's how I feel that she's there with me.
Mm.
And,
Oh, thank you, Roberto. That means a lot to me.
she's accompanying me throughout my days. It just pops up, and I laugh, I smile, I remember, right? So it's it's a good feeling.
Mm-hmm. Joe, I see you're not muted.
Just thinking about a lot of different things here. For me, I believe that I have no idea what is beyond the grave. But what I do believe is that my life force, call it my spirit, whatever, will go on. That the grave isn't the end of things. It's like death is like a candle being blown out at the break of a new dawn. It's a new openness beyond the limits of finiteness and time as we know it. So I believe that I will go on, and I believe that for a lot of different reasons. If focusing has taught me one thing, it's taught me that even in the darkest of things that are within me, if you're courageous enough and able to extend caring presence to what is ever there, there is a window that opens up to new light and new possibilities in that darkness.
Mm.
When I think about the solstice and the new light coming in the darkness, and the fact that we celebrate Christmas, at the same time of the year, that's not by accident, by the way. For me, the divine always finds a way. Even the story of the Christmas story of the fact that the babe is born in a manger because there's no room in the inn. And if I look at my life today, there's a lot of places in my life where there's no room in the inn, but the divine comes anyway, especially if I'm open to it. And for me, through biospiritual focusing, that becomes part of my practice of trying to be open to it. But I do believe that the spirit goes on. And also from some of my own personal experiences, I as some of you know, I lost a teenage daughter in a car accident years ago. And there have been many instances where it's been very clear to me that she's come back to let me know that she's okay. Now you can say, well, that's just coincidence. No, for me, it's not. It's beyond coincidence. The fact I'm standing in a butterfly sanctuary and a huge butterfly comes down and lands on my chest and opens its wings. It stays there for 5 minutes. That tells me that she's sending me a message. So I believe that we go on. I believe that the spirit goes on. Now, what's scary about that for me is it means that it's probably not my personality gets through. I may not be my personality. It may be something else. But the spirit continues. And for me, that's enough at this point. I mean, I would like to have a solid answer, but I have to go on what I believe to be my faith and my trust in the divine, that it's bigger than all of this. And the other point I want to make is, just as the solstice was a celebration of people being connected to the wholeness of nature, being part of the whole of it, focusing is the same for me. Focusing is the point at which, or it's the place at which, or I could call it the practice at which we all become the same, where we all become connected together. As Jean says, you become aware of the larger system. And the larger system is the whole universe. And so it's the doorway to that. So it's very much in sync with the solstice, and being that it's more than a moment. It's a way of living. It's a way of awareness. So it's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
I would love to hear from Masumi, who was with us a moment ago. It looked like she might want to say something.
I think we lost her, Rosa.
Oh, maybe she'll come back.
Yeah, Masumi?
I think she can't speak to us right now, but
Yeah.
I'm wondering if anybody else has something to say there, like Jim hasn't said anything for a while.
Jim, is there anything you would like to say?
I think I would have said it if there was.
Okay. I'm having an experience of us dipping. There's an article Jean wrote about crossing and about dipping. And as Rosa has continued to draw us back into the implicit, and I've continued to draw us up into the explicit by talking about things that are more visible than invisible. It's a beautiful experience when we can do both of those things. I'm so glad that you mentioned the bigger system, the greater system, Joe. I have a couple of quotes from Jean that, and this takes us back to focusing as a method that holds lots of possibility for all kinds of helping professions. This is a quote from his chapter in the 1975 American Handbook of Psychiatry. And the focus, the subject of the handbook that year was apparently the human being in the universe. And he wrote, religious, spiritual, or cosmic sensitivity is the next logical extension of the movement branching out from the individual, the therapeutic movement, reaching out from the individual to groups, to the family, and to society. There is a dimension even greater than society, the universe, the cosmos. In the current trends in therapy, this is not a matter of belief. Rather, it is the bodily experience of sensing oneself in a vast cosmic context. It is an experience of breathing more deeply, of having a sense of the vastness. He also wrote in that seminal book, Focusing, your physically felt body is, in fact, part of a gigantic system of here and other places, now and other times, you and other people. In fact, the whole universe. The sense of being bodily alive in a vast system is the body as it is felt from inside. So I wanted to end with that because, you know, there's such a conflict, I think, in probably all of us, a kind of a conflict between, as Joe said it so beautifully, the idea that we can have faith in something that is invisible, that we can't see, but that we know, and we might see a butterfly, whatever. There's some, I always used to have to call it super within the natural world. And the conflict other side has to do with, as we might say, scientific fact, although we forget that science is also a hypothesis. So I believe that things like the winter solstice give us an opportunity to just dip down a bit into those kinds of places in ourselves where we feel awe, where we feel terror, just like those earliest people, at nature's forces impacting their lives so strongly. Anybody else want to say a last word? Masumi, are you back? No, he's not back.
Let's
Yes.
keep the fire going.
Yeah. I'm back. I'm just overwhelmed and then just pondering inside me, lost of words. Nothing to say now.
Thank you.
BJ, maybe you could put that quote of Jean's, send that to us. I would say put it in the chat, but maybe
Yeah.
better send those quotes to us.
I will. I'd be glad to. And I have several more quotes from him about his belief in the reality of this bigger system. The reality as in, if we live long enough, science might explain it, and the reality as in something in the implicit that's really unspeakable, as you said, Roberto, unsayable. So I'll gather them all and send them. Thanks, everyone. I'm sorry I kept us over, but that's kind of the nature of us, isn't it? Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
That
very
was great.
much.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye-bye, everybody. Have a
Bye,
good
everyone. Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Thank you
I
so
just-
much.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want folks to know I'm not going to be involved in January. I'm going to be away. So I'm not leaving the group at this point anyway. But I will not be around in January.
Thank you, Joe.
We'll miss you, Joe.
And Lynn,
Joe.
we're on for 2 weeks from tonight, right?
We're on for 2 weeks from tonight.
Wonderful.
See you all then.
Blessing everybody.
Yes. Happy
Blessings.
New Year. Bye.
Bye, Kate.
Bye, Lynn. Bye.
Kate, thank you for your question. It was really has deepened our
Yes.
whatever inside.
I
Thank
was
you very much.
I was very afraid to ask that question. I thought it would upset people or
Is it
Thank you
okay,
very much.
Kate, if I take that question out and send it separately to the group?
yes.
Thank you. Kate
I
is
think-
always willing for that. Rose-
Sorry, I didn't hear that. What did you say, Lynn?
I said, you are always so willing to let me have your little gems and and share them. I appreciate it.
Because it makes you happy. It seems makes you happy. I want to make you happy.
It makes me very, very happy. And it makes me very happy that you're willing to give your voice to everyone and let it even be public and let people hear you. It makes me very happy.
This is a very new experience for me.
Yeah.
And there's something exciting about that it's new.
uh,
And Rosa, thank you so much for deepening the session tonight.
Well, I just, I'm in awe of Kate, because I really think, I hear you when you say that it was really scary. And I think sometimes the things that feel really scary are really worthwhile to share, So I just deep appreciation for the courage that it took to share that.
Going to that edge, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I think I'm a little bit brave in our group.
You are very brave.
I don't dare to say it anywhere else.
Well, that you're becoming a leader more and more and more. And I knew that when we were starting this group, I thought Kate is going to become a leader in this group. And I was right.
Because you give me courage, Lynn.
Yes. Well, maybe you give me courage also. And you give Rosa courage. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, have a lovely, lovely new year.
Yes, Happy New Year to both of you.